Thank you, Shivdat, for accepting my invitation. We are very glad to have you here on the forum today. Let me tell the participants of SAP who have come from all the corners of India that Shivdat is an alumnus of ILM Biotechnology. He is passed out in 2015 and he was a very sincere and dedicated student. During his graduation, he did a project with me on the water quality analysis of the sewage treatment plant installed in Greater Noida. We got publications also. I've seen him working with a determined intensity from that time only. He's a very sincere and dedicated person. Due to his hard work only, he is in Nestle now. He's working as a packaging technologist in Nestle from last 4 years. And I keep on seeing the positive comments from his supervisors and seniors in Nestle. So thank you, Shubdas, for joining us today. Welcome you.
Thank you very much, madam. Good morning, everyone. Hope you and your family are doing well in this situation of crisis. So, as madam had already introduced me, my name is Siva Sharma. I'm currently working with Nestle India Limited. So, I'm looking after the packaging development here. Basically, core area of working is designing, developing, and optimizing the packaging material with maintaining quality and the good manufacturing processes. So without wasting my time, so we will go to the today's session of industrial biotechnology, where you can see the presentation. It's industrial biotechnology as an enabler. So whenever we are talking about the enabler, like it is a technology where by using the biology, by using the organism, we are enabling the industries to produce different products which currently they are using or they are producing or manufacturing by chemical processes. So when you come to the chemical processes, they are directly impacting the environment. So it's a need of the time that we start working more towards the industrial biotechnology, which is also a sustainable solution, working for the environment and for better future. So we will start with the biotechnology and industrial biotechnology. It's a link to the biotechnology. So what is basically biotechnology here is everybody has heard the word mimicry. So we used to see the mimicries, different mimicries. So it is similar to biomimicry. What is biomimicry? We are mimicking or we are imitating the nature in our laboratory just to produce the desired product. So basically we are doing mimicry of the biology of the living cells by using different enzymes, by using different substrates to produce a product that is required or that is desired or that may be the need of the time. So basically what is industrial biotechnology is a mimicry. It is a biomimicry of the bioorganism. In some cases or wherever in some books, it is also mentioned as the white biotechnology. Why it is white biotechnology? Due to sustainable processing, production of chemicals, materials, and different renewable sources using living cells and their enzymes. So in industries, whenever you are using living cells, their components for processing and achieving the high yield, it's known as the white biotechnology. So now we are going to the history of industrial biotechnology. How we came to the point of today, see how advanced our industrial biotechnology has become. Today, due to corona crisis, we are looking for the vaccine development. Because of industrial biotechnology, it is possible so that we can upscale, we can downstream all the processes to produce the vaccines where we can generate the antibodies by altering the genome, by altering the antibody producing cells in laboratory. Then we can upscale that to the industries and we can produce the vaccine. So we will have a look at pre-1940, 1980 and post-1980, how it goes on industrial biotechnology development. If you see in 1940s, solvents, bakerist, we are using bread, we are producing bread by use of yeast, organic acids and amino acids. Now 1980, there was a slight boom in the industrial biotechnology where probiotics come into existence. Probiotics as a healthy dish where they are producing due to use of different microorganisms, antibodies, antibiotics. Polio was one of the examples. Single cell proteins, nutrition, enzymes, and vaccines. Now 1980, we have advanced ourselves in the field of industrial biotechnology by expanding the applications into biopharmaceuticals, into protein, into monoclonal antibodies, HIV, recombinant vaccines, biodiesels, future fuels. We can say the future fuels, green energy, where is the need of the time that we have some alternative of the fossil fuels, which are limited. But now we have the biodiesels, which we can be produced by use of different microbes. By altering the cells, plant cells, we are able to produce the diesel. That is converting the green energy. Now, there's a different fields in the application of industrial biotechnology. Please let me know if I'm going fast. So please let me know if it is understandable to all.
This is very much understandable.
Okay.
Yes, Shivdat, you can go ahead. आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है शिवदत्त.
Hello.
हाँ शिवदत्त, अब आ रही है आपकी आवाज.
Okay. So basically there are 6 fields in which biotechnology, industrial biotechnology has implemented, and industries are working and producing their products. Like beverages industries, we have n types of alcohols produced by changing the morphology, physiology of the different bacteria, different yeast to produce the alcohol. We have gin, we have vodka, we have different types of alcohol which are produced by changing or by altering the processes and the morphology of the microbe. Now we have the medicines, that is antibiotics. We are in the field of developing new vaccines, where we are at the stage that we can decode the genome, we can decode the DNA of any bacteria, and we can produce the antibodies by altering or by mutating their chromosomes. Now we are in the development of the higher production, where we have the higher yield by consuming lesser fossil fuels, by having green energy, and producing a quality product. Role in the food processing, that is well known since Baker's Yeast. We are in the food processing field of the industrial biotechnology. Then applying the technology to improve the food quality. Food quality we call is the biosafety. Whenever we are going through the chemical production, there are risks related to the reactions, there are risks related to the health. But now we are talking about the biosafety, the product and quality we are producing by the use of microbes. They are very well related to the human being, because we are also living cells. They are also living cells, so we are producing living things from the living cells for the living ones. So these all are the basic 6 areas where applications of industrial biotechnology are well known. Now, why we need industrial biotechnology? So basically, whenever we are working in industry, so first thing we comes to mind is the cost. Second comes in the mind is the gas emission, how we are impacting our environment. Then is the waste generation, energy consumption. So these all 4 fields are well taken care by the industrial biotechnology. Due to this, interest is increasing towards industrial biotechnology, mainly due to association with reduced energy consumption, reduced energy greenhouse gas emission, reducing waste generation. It is also shifting the graph from usage of fossil fuel to the bio-based production. So means we are reducing the usage of the fossil fuels and we are moving towards the bio-based production. It has an economy market. Economy market, when we are telling, is like by spending less, you can earn more, because it's safe, it's fast, and it's not emitting any energy or any gas which is harmful to the nature or environment. So it is efficient, it is lower operating, it is capital expenditure. So how we are working? So it's increased process efficiency, very well known, renewable feedstock, reduction in greenhouse emission, reduction in emission of water, emission of air. So these are the 4 basic pillars which we can look after for why we need industrial biotechnology. More or less, it uses renewable resources. Renewable resources as a raw material, like microbes. We can generate n types of or n numbers of microbes in our laboratory. Then we can upscale them, or then we can downstream the product, and we can have a refined, well cleaned, biosafetically approved product. It required lower temperature, pressure, and pH. Yeah, it required time because incubation always takes a time. So we need a time to generate the inoculum. It's at the preparation stage. But once inoculum is generated, it will work and it will have a higher efficiency, higher yield. Greater quantities can be produced by using the bioreactor. So how this value chains of industrial biotechnology work? How industrial biotechnology really works in our society or in our industry? First thing is we need to find out gene or enzyme which by using which microbes, by using which genes or which enzymes, what we are going to produce, what is our target, and how we are going to achieve that. So there is a process flow chart how we are going to achieve our final desired product by using industrial biotechnology. So first is a gene and enzyme discovery. We have to select which enzymes, like we take an example of curd, which we are since last 100, 200 years we are using at our home. So curd, it consists of lab, lactobacillus bacteria. So lab, we have selected the lab to produce the curd. Now, if there is some modification required, we want to taste, or we want to change the taste, we want to change the texture, we want to change the color. So we have to engineer the genes of that bacteria. So when I'm talking about the engineering of the genes, means we are altering or we are deleting or we are editing or we are mutating that gene to produce or to achieve the desired product, which we know that that genes will reflect that in a final product. Now, how that genes or that microbes will grow, this will require some protein or media where this bacteria can grow up. So we need to design the media according to the bacteria. What actually it will require to grow, what are the conditions it will require. Now, once a strain of the bacteria is developed, we have to validate. Is it producing the same product that we actually wanted, or it is producing something else? Once the validation is done, then we will go to the pilot production. Pilot production is upscaling the product from lab to the industrial processing. So that will require different conditions, that will require reactors, bioreactors, that will require different pressures, temperatures, and operating conditions. Once upscaling is done, we are at the bioreactor stage. In bioreactor stage, what will happen? We have to refine, we have to filtrate, we have to process, we have to polish our final product, and then we have to pack it, and then it goes to the market. So this is a value chain, how industrial biotechnology is working in today's scenario. So now tools. What are the basic tools for industrial biotechnology? It all starts from a laboratory. So when we are talking about a laboratory, it starts with the selection of genes. It starts with the selection of microbes. It starts with the engineering of the microbial chromosomes, genes, etc. So there are basically three tools. Genetic engineering. Genetic engineering is in which we are producing recombinant DNA by in vivo or in vitro. In vivo and in vitro, we are deleting or we are adding the genes in a recombinant DNA. Gene probe, where we are doing the mutation. It is always control mutation, which we know that mutation, what it will lead to, what it will produce to, and how it will help us. So we are mutating the gene probe. Now, cell fusion and tissue culture. Cell fusion and tissue culture is basically used for development of the vaccine, used for development of the antibiotics, used for development of the final product as it is going to be used by the living being, living humans or living cells. So, an example of antibody producing cell, where sperm egg and antibody producing cells are clubbed or fused to produce the human antibody that we can use as a vaccine. Now, components of industrial biotechnology. tools we have discussed. Now, how the tools are going to produce our desired products at industrial level. So it includes basically three components: upstreaming processing, fermentation, and downstreaming processing. Upstreaming processing all related to the lab, all the work done in laboratory to achieve, to validate, or to check is our organism or is our genes which we have altered, which we have engineered, is producing the desired product or not. If it is producing the desired product, then we have to upscale. Upscaling is always done by the bioreactor. What are the bioreactors? Bioreactors is applying the desired temperature, moisture, and all desired conditions which are required to produce the desired product by use of microorganisms and the media substrate which they are going to eat and producing the desired product. Once desired product is produced, it consists of the media, it consisted of the bacteria and all the genes. So now downstream processing, what it consists of? It consists of the purification, basically purification and isolation of the biotechnological products which we wanted to achieve. Now, how upstreaming and downstreaming and fermentation works. So we will go slide by slide. Till now, any doubt or any questions, anything which is coming in your mind, how it is working and how we are going to achieve, how we are selecting the genes, anything which is coming in your mind, you can ask.
Shiv, that they will be asking at the end of the session. I will be taking up at the end of the session. You can go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So components. Now we are going to upstream processing. How does upstreaming processing work? So you can understand the flow chart and the pictorial representation, how it is working. It includes all the factors that are leading to the fermentation as well as including the fermentation, because fermentation is a pilot project. So whenever we are talking about reactor 5 to 10 liter, then 10 to 100 liter, then another production stage. Production stage comes to the downstreaming, and up to pilot product, it comes to the upstreaming. So related to the producer microbes, what are the stages? Identification, improvement. Improvement can be done by all the three tools which we have seen in the last PPT. Now high yield. The mutation or the engineering of the microbe must be to achieve high yield by having the low media consumption and by producing the high product. Then inoculum preparation, how much we can replicate and how many times we can replicate that product with the same quantity, with the same quality, with the same features, and with the same desired application. How many times we can produce? It all depends on the inoculum, how perfect our inoculum is made. Because it's all of the inoculum, we can replicate n times of production just because we are having a perfect inoculum. Now, fermentation medium must be cost effective because we are challenging our existing system, production system, which are currently using fossil fuels, which are currently using chemical engineering, which are using chemical technology. So whenever we are challenging the existing thing or existing setup, so we must need to have a thing which is perfectly fitted into their requirement. So first, it must be cost effective, energy efficient, and the media must have the all required nutrition which are required to produce or to grow that bacteria to produce the final product. Now it comes to the control conditions. The bacteria which we are going to use are maybe aerobic or anaerobic. So these all are the requirements which are required for the bioreactor. So working the cell bank, then isolation of the tissue, then media preparation, reactors, and scaling up. Now it comes to the downstream processing, where isolation and purification of the products that are produced in the bioreactor by use of microbes consume media to produce the desired product. So biotechnology products are purified and isolated. Its primary aims, what are the aims of the DSP? Aims are efficiency, reproducibility, and safety of products. there should not be any enzyme or any chemicals or any living cell which can harm the human being or which can harm the target cell. Fermentation factor affecting GSP includes microbial properties. Microbial properties should be aligned with our requirement. Morphology of the bacteria, it must have to be safe. It must have to be adaptable by a human being. Flocculation characteristics, cell size and cell wall rigidity. How we are going to extract our product from the cell. So what all are the processes we will require to disrupt the cell, to disrupt the DNA to achieve our final product. It can be enzymes, it can be antibodies, it can be anything. So cell separation is the first. And after cell separation, we need to disrupt the cell, we need to filtrate the cell, ultrafiltration and filtration, everything will come into this process. Now we will go for chromatography, where we will dialysis or distillate the desired product, and then after the desired product is identified, extracted, it will go for the packaging. So these are the two basic upstreaming and the downstreaming are the components of industrial biotechnology, which makes industrial biotechnology to function actually, how it is going to function, how it's going to produce, or it's going to help our industries in today's scenario. So basically the hot topic right now is the vaccine development. So how does vaccine development take place by using industrial biotechnology? So here we will start with the example where we have the WHO candidate virus. Like WHO has suggested a virus that he wants to develop a vaccine for particular virus. So how this particular virus development will work? So here what we are going to replicate that virus infection in an artificial cell where the infection will be controlled. It will be in a controlled way. When I am talking about the controlled way, how this controlled way infection take place. So what we are doing, we are producing the antibody or we are producing the antigens in a bacteria or in a virus cell, which will not replicate in the host. Host is the human being. So we have mutated, we have damaged the virus cell in a very controlled way that its protein or its DNA will not replicate with the human DNA. But whenever it will attack or when it will be injected inside the human cell will start autoimmune system. Whenever autoimmune system will start, it will start replicating the antibodies towards that virus, which is not harmful to the human being, but it is starting the autoimmune system, which in response producing the antibody in human being. So whenever the real virus, which is active in nature, will attack the human being, the antibody which is already produced due to the vaccine in human cell will attack that virus and it will prevent the human being by infection. So this is the basic concept how vaccines development works. So here we will see that we are having the virus, we are having the preculture cells, we will mix that, we will grow, we will inoculum, then we will do the centrifugation. Centrifugation is like DSP. Then we will do the DNA removal. So we have two types of virus inactivation and virus disruption. So both the virus will not replicate, will not be activated in the host whenever they will enter the host. So whole virus and the split virus, both are having the antigens which are infected or which are infectious in nature, but they are not that much infectious that they will harm the host. So whenever they will be injected, human cell will produce the antibody towards the death. So the basic, it's a very, very basic way how vaccine development works and how human cells generate antibody towards the inactivated viruses, towards the inactivated antigens or antibodies. So now it's an eager view means why anybody prefer industrial biotechnology upon chemical technology. So it's end-to-end comparison where we are up in industrial biotechnology in some criteria, we are low in some criteria. Like reaction times, upscaling always will take the more time than the chemical technology. But once inoculum is developed, bioreactor will produce in a faster way, will produce in a very efficient way, will produce in a high yield. But yeah, when we are comparing the starting of a process, obviously chemical technology is a fast and takes very few hours comparison to biotechnology, because biotechnology always takes time, selection of genes, altering of genes, then development of the inoculum in a laboratory practices. When it comes to the substrate, obvious we are green, we are in a green scenario because we are using the bio-based products, while chemical technology will use the fossil products. So we are using the agriculture products, they will using the fossil fuels, which are very limited and which are emitting or which are generating the pollutions, impacting the environment in any way. Now, convergent substrate to product, obvious we are using low because we are at a lower rate. Chemical technology is at a higher rate. Medium, we are using very simple thing, water, but they are using the organic solvents. Consumption of water, it's more or less similar because we are using at last stage, they are using at the initial stage. Reactions time, it's almost, we are using a very, very low temperature, it's 30 to 40 degrees Celsius, which is energy efficient, which is low cost effective. We are using less energy to produce the same product, while chemical technology are using higher energy to produce the same product. Product recovery cost, we are very high because we need to consider the biosafety of the product. Processing, normal, both are continuous. We, as a industrial biotechnology, we produce in the batches because we are using the inoculum for producing the batches. Sterilization is our requirement because we need to deactivate all the active microbes. Production facilities, it is higher at the time of initiation, but it will compensate by having the cost effectiveness in the energy, yield, and the safety. It is non-toxic, chemical technology always a toxic option. Now we are coming the scope of industrial biotechnology. So how we are going to justify industrial biotechnology in future? We have different types of career options in industrial biotechnology which can be chosen up going forward in your career. It can be scientist. Whenever we talk about the scientist, we are working in the upscaling process. We are working on selections of genomes. We are working on selections of microbes. We are working on identification of new microbes. We are engineering the microbes, their genomes. We are mutating the genomes just to achieve high yield, low cost, efficient production, and desired product, which is the requirement of the time. It may change time to time, but yeah, you always have an option to work as an associate scientist, or you can work as a scientist where you can find out, you can work on the actually biotechnology where we are altering or we are mimicking the bioprocess in laboratory. Now it comes to the bioprocess engineering. It is in between the downstreaming and upstreaming, because always whenever you are upscale the process, you need a bioreactor. And whenever you are having a bioreactor, it must be very efficient. It must produce all the required conditions to grow, to develop a microbe along with media to produce the desired product. Whenever there will be some alteration in the bioprocess, it is very difficult to achieve the desired product, and it all will go into vain if we are not having a good bioreactor, good bioprocess engineer. There is a different one, genomics research specialist, which are particularly working using bioinformatics, decoding and coding of the DNA, altering and designing and deciding the future of how this mutation will work and what will be the impact on the microbial morphology and physiology. Now, as a research associate, whenever we are working with research associate, so we are helping all these three processes. We are working scientists, we are helping bioprocess engineer, we are working research specialists. These are the basic four major work area where you can find a scope in industrial biotechnology in coming time. But I am very sure that it is going to increase seeing the current scenario. These are the areas where you can work. And now, how at present industrial biotechnology is working. So industrial biotechnology is in very early stage of development because it started just after 1980, where we focus majorly on the industrial biotechnology. It's very innovative application, increasing and spreading very rapidly in all areas of manufacturing. It's rapidly manufacturing. You can see from the bioplastic to biofood. We are in the single cell protein. We are generating the nutrition. We are generating the plastics. using the biomicrobe. Even we are finding the solution to decompose the plastic by altering the microbes who can consume the plastic and can produce a fossil fuel, then decompose the fossil fuel for us. It is already providing useful tools, allow for cleaner, more sustainable production, will continue to do so in the future. As far as that, there are more innovations will come in the industrial biotechnology, more people will join, more industries will join, and it will change into green technology, which will reduce the usage of fossil fuel in the future. It is in the interest of both business and the government. Business because it is cost effective, government because it is producing green energy, it is not impacting environment. We are saving our future, we are saving our coming generations. Diffusion with the innovative applications. Yes, we need more innovations in the biotechnology because still we are at a phase that we are not able to justify to the world how important industrial biotechnology is. In different manufacturing sectors, we need to compete with the economy. In many sectors, it is still not cheaper than the chemical technology. Thank you very much. This is basically the overview of the industrial biotechnology. Now we can have a question and answer session where how industrial biotechnology is currently working in the industry, because I am working in the industry which is basically the majorly food processing base, and I am working with the packaging technology. So how we are designing packaging for consumption or for having the shelf life of the particular product. So now you are open to have a question and answer session. So start with one by one.
Yes, students, the forum, Shubda, thank you so much. You can stop sharing the screen now so that we can see you. Stop sharing your screen.